Spring Security provides some additional features that allow us to control the behavior of our form login in certain situations. If we just simply go to the Sign In link on our menu and we attempt to sign in to the application, you'll notice that we are redirected to our root URL. So we go to our home page basically for the application. Spring Security allows us to change that. So for example, what if every time a user logged in, we wanted to send them to their appointment section? There are some caveats to this. This configuration may not take hold when the individual comes into the schedule. So for example, if an administrator attempts to log into the application and they're navigating to the schedule, we just want to send them right to the schedule. But when we click on the sign-in link, we really don't have any destination in mind, and Spring Security takes over and just defaults to the context route for the application. So we're going to look at how we can configure some of those landing pages. We just use a few of the attributes within the form login tag. The first one is the default target URL. This allows us to say that every time somebody authenticates and logs into the application, we want to send them to this default URL. So let's say we wanted to send everybody to the appointments page. We would just provide that request mapping to the appointments page. And now if we restart our application by holding Control Alt and pressing R, then you'll probably want to restart so we log out that session. We'll see that when we log in, let's go in as an administrator. You'll see that now we're going to navigate to the appointments section. And this would happen for a regular user also. So let's run through that scenario. Now we're signing in regular user, and we go to the appointment section. Now this configuration will not take place if we are an administrator just attempting to access the schedule. So there we click the schedule link, and you'll notice we navigate to that employee schedule. So what if we always wanted it to force the flow to the appointment section? Well, there is an attribute for that, which is the always use default target. This says no matter what resource they are requesting prior to login, always send them over to our default target, in this case, appointments. So we're just going to run this scenario. So we'll log in with the administrator who's attempting to go to the schedule. And you'll notice that Spring Security will route their flow over to the appointment section. And there we have it. Spring Security allows us to specify a URL we would like to navigate to when the wrong username and password is entered. By default, it's going to go back to the /login page. We're going to add this error parameter and indicate that it's true. What that allows us to do is within our login page, we can now add a little bit of output to the user. So we can call upon JSTL and we can test to see if that param is not null. And if it's not, we can just display some information to our user. Here, what we've done is we have refined the form login tag configuration in order to specify this authentication failure URL. Where do we go if they fail to authenticate? So the wrong username and password. And we're going to ship them back to the login.jsp page, but we now have that parameter which we can key off of in order to display an error message. So I'm just going to restart our server. We'll open the application back up. And I'm going to sign in under a user that doesn't exist. We'll give a password to Joe. And now we see that it provides us with this error message, so invalid username and password. This is just an example of some of the further refinements that we can achieve with the form login tag within that security namespace. So it really allows us to shape our login process with Spring Security.